It's a little weak, but hey, I'm still grateful. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about putting your attention on things that you really want out of life, whether it be more money, whether it's marriage, whether it's children, or just, just whatever it is, reaching another level of consciousness. Depends on what you believe in, you can get. I'm not really telling you what to want out of life. It depends on the expansion of your mind, if how open it is. So what I'm saying is that just suggestion. I always do suggestions. I don't like to tell people what to do. But put your attention on mostly what you want. Reason why is because when you kind of share your energy and put your attention on things that make you feel good too, because that feeds your essence, that feeds your being, that increases your self-love as well. So put your attention on things that you want, like say stuff that you can't afford. Okay, put your attention on what you would do to get those things, but also put attention on self-love, which it doesn't always have to be about sitting and meditating, with your legs crossed. It can be also doing things that make you feel good, doing more and more things to make you feel good about yourself, because that feeds your essence and that increases self-love. That's why so many channels with Black women and talking about self-love, because Black women have been the sacrifice. And so you have different people that have these channels on, pampering and self-love, because it feeds your essence. You learn self-preservation. You learn to put yourself first, and then you don't put everybody else before you and be at the bottom. And that helps the Black people who takes heed to that. That'll help them rise to the top, and whatever the top means to you, because I'm not trying to, myself, I know I mentioned being a superpower, but I'm not trying to be more powerful than the white power structure or the Asian. I'm not comparing myself to anybody else. When I talk about a superpower, it's the highest version of me, the best version of me. That's what I mean by superpower. It's not me comparing myself to anybody else, because I'm gonna make more videos about reality and what people think reality is and what people think me and I, which is the ego, all of that is, okay? But getting back on track here. So yeah, putting attention on things you want. Now I say that because like, try not to, when I'm talking about those of you who are kind of in between, that it's best for you to just kind of divest, not necessarily just from the so-called Black people, but just from people who are toxic, period. Because if we just say, okay, you're going to divest and just get away from Black people, then it's kind of hard. You don't realize that other people in the world could be just as toxic. That's what I'm saying. Identify what's toxic and get away from it. Okay. And for a lot of Black identified women, that would be Black people, but that's because Black people want to pull you into a trap. They want to pull you into a box. And that's why Black women who want to get away from that mess have to pull out their claws and scratch, or just leave quietly. But like for instance, it's one particular popular YouTuber who talks about white supremacy, racism, white supremacy all day, and fuss about people who swirl. And she's on and off. She's it's confused. I don't even listen to her messages, because I just see her titles, because those types of videos for some reason seem to get boosted. Okay. Even when I'm not watching a lot of these videos, I see them in my recommendation box. So maybe YouTube is boosting a lot of these people's channels and videos, because it feeds into negativity. It's low vibrational. And people with positive messages, like mine, I'll say mine is more on the positive side. And others like Altabox and other ones that try to encourage a lot of Black women, it just seems not to get boosted. So we know a lot of those messages, sometimes they show up in your recommendation box, no matter how many times you don't even click on it. It keeps showing up because because they're being boosted most likely. Okay. And what I want to say is try your best. Even if you know not to drink the Kool-Aid of everything these people say, you still have to guard how you spend, where you put your attention. You still have to guard what you do with your time. Time is something you don't get back. Well, unless you know how to manipulate time and energy, and that's another conversation. But for the most part, I think I'm talking to an audience that don't know how to go back in time, okay? And don't know how to get time back and don't know how to go through the Akashic records and all that stuff, okay? So time is something that you don't get back. And so with that said, it's best, and this is what I'm learning. And so when I learn things, I just try to suggest it to other people. It's best whatever you really want out of life, especially if you are in a bind, especially when you need something to happen like yesterday. It's best to put your attention on what you really want. It's best to, and even if it's not something, even if it's not an emergency, I would just caution how you use it. So is this one particular YouTuber, 1 minute talking about how swirling black women, how if she's murdered by her white spouse, she talks about how another one bites the dust, and then goes on a rant about how black men are submissive to white women. And talking about how black men will always make excuses for white women and how majority of black men are just beta and all this stuff. Okay, but then when a black woman decides that she wants to, expand her options, but maybe it don't, she chose the wrong spouse, then it's, another one bites the dust because she should have never been with a white man, And I just say with those kind of conflicting type of messages, unplug from that. Just my advice, unplug from conflicting messages like that. That is nothing but confusion. That is a big ball of confusion not to give your energy to. And it's not to say that these types of people don't make good points, but they do. They're not helping anybody. They make good points. Some of them might be intellectual and they might every now and then make some decent points, but they're not helping. They're not. What are they doing to help you in your situation right now? If you a whole month late on your rent, what is this person constantly fussing about swirling black men and black men submitting to white women and then turn around and complain the black women swirl? What do they do for your life? Think about that, because if they don't really do anything to enhance your life, if the whatever they're saying is not something that you can take home and put it into action for your life to actually improve, then they don't deserve your attention. They don't. It's not even a matter of me telling you what to do. They don't deserve you. They don't deserve your energy. They don't deserve you. You give them a piece of your soul. You give them a piece of your life force. When you watch this stuff and give them especially when it's an hour and 2 hours long and you watch it the whole time, I don't give these people my energy. And this other one's just like that too. And even the negative titles, of course, please don't click on negative titles by black women. Who cares? You know what? I'm gonna get into what this really means. But here's the thing: however people feel about black women, however people feel about me as an identified black woman, it's really none of my business. My business is what I do with my life. My business is understanding my consciousness. My business is understanding my inner world and knowing how to create my own world with the projection outside. Go inner to be able to create my external world. That's my business. That's my business. My business ain't what somebody else want to think about a black woman. That ain't none of my business. It ain't. And I'll go into more about what that really means. But like another instance, here goes another title saying, "Dear Black people, most Black women are uneducated," but spelled it wrong. They left the U out of educated. So they say most Black women are uneducated because they left the U out of it. I didn't click on that mess either, because who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Okay. But anyway, I just wanted to just say, but be careful where you put your attention, and even towards people who seem to have a good message, but then they kind of make you feel bad. Like, um, you can say 70% of their message is decent, but 30% of their message is kind of tearing you down as a black identified person. Try to be careful with those type of messages as well, because you don't need anybody to tear you down, even if you know you've done something wrong. The last thing black women need to be is continually put down and told everything that they're doing wrong, even if they are doing a lot wrong. That's not the problem. Is constantly beating them over the head, telling them where they're wrong. If they're lacking self-love, I don't know if that helps them. I think the messages need to be a little bit more high vibrational for those who are meant to get the message to get it. Because those who are low vibrational and don't stand a chance in changing, beating them over the head is not going to make them change. So it's best to try to have encouraging messages, and those who are going to change are going to change. And those who are not, no matter what you say to them, beat them over the head, say encouraging stuff, they still ain't going to change, because they might not be meant to. Maybe not at that exact time, or maybe not ever. Maybe they meant to die without ever rising up in consciousness, and that's not in anybody else's control. Um, But anyway, I don't want to go too long with this because I don't want to go into too many different subjects. So I will talk to you guys soon. And as usual, let me know what you think. Okay.